You sending us a message, Thomas? Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, that's for me? Yeah. You don't want me breakdancing, I guarantee you. There's a lot of people that pay to see that, sir. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Sugarland City Council for Tuesday, April the 19th. A little bit about our agenda tonight. In a minute, I'm going to lead you in the invocation and the pledge of allegiance to the American flag. After that, we're going to have 3 recognitions. And following that, we'll kind of let everything clear out, and then we'll go straight to the council agenda. So at this time, if you'd rise with me. Heavenly Father, we ask you to look out over our staff, our first responders, the citizens of our great city and this city council. We ask that you'd give us the wisdom to make the right decisions for our city. We ask that you'd also watch over us and that we would be in your will. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'm going to ask George to say, George, will you come down? George is our environmental services manager. Lead us in the Earth Day recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Earth Day recognition. We have a special guest tonight with us from KSLB. This is Alina. She's on the Youth Advisory Board for KSLB. KSLB is one of our partners here at the City of Sugarland. Typically every year we have one Earth Day event with KSLB. This year we're shaking it up a little bit and we're celebrating year-round with different volunteer opportunities and environmental movie night this summer. August 12th, I think, so mark your calendars now. Storm drain marking, all kinds of opportunities to volunteer throughout the city year-round. So join us for those opportunities this year. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Alina Joseph, and I'm a member of the Keep Sugarland Beautiful Youth Advisory Board. I'm super excited to be here to represent KSLB today on behalf of Ms. Gist. First, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to come here to be able to accept the Earth Day Proclamation for KSLB. As many of you know, KSLB focuses on environmental education and awareness, as well as providing volunteer opportunities for citizens of our wonderful city. In fact, this weekend we actually have a litter cleanup occurring at 2 different city parks. So we want to say thank you to all of our volunteers who are coming out, and also a special thank you to Commonwealth Elementary School, Austin NHS, and Dulles Green for coming out and volunteering this weekend. Thank you.
And we've got a proclamation for Earth Day, April 22nd of 2022. Whereas April 22nd of 1970 marked the first Earth Day, which was a call to action for every citizen, family, and public official to tackle a shared challenge and adopt laws on clean air and water. And whereas it is understood that Americans united in a common purpose can overcome any obstacle, and whereas Earth Day broadens the base of support for environmental programs and rekindles public commitment around the world through a broad range of events and activities, and whereas more than 1 billion people participate in Earth Day each year, and whereas the City of Sugarland and Keep Sugarland Beautiful will host Sugarland Earth Day events and volunteer opportunities year-round and encourage residents, businesses, and institutions to commit to a sustainable and green community. Congratulations. Council members, if y'all will come down. Georgia, step back here and get. Our next recognition is for Sugarland Volunteers of the Year. And this recognizes the contributions they made in 2021. I'm going to ask Paulina Valero, our Community Engagement Manager, to come down, but I want to give you a little bit of background. In 2021, we had more than 530 volunteers in the city of Sugarland. That represented 15,861 volunteer hours. And we estimated that to be $452,000 in in-kind contributions. I would tell you that's way short of what the real value is. The real value for Sugarland is that the people that we have that volunteer is what makes Sugarland the community that it is. Tonight's volunteers were nominated by their departments as Volunteers of the Year, and we pay them honor tonight. Paulina's going to bring them down, recognize them, say a little bit about each one, and then we'll take some photos and give people a chance to thank them for what they've done in our community.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paulina Valero. I'm the Community Engagement Manager, and we are recognizing our volunteers tonight in honor of Volunteer Month and National Volunteer Week. And I wanted to share a little bit about our program. The Serve Sugarland program began 15 years ago as a way to provide a space for Sugarland residents in neighborhood areas to give back to their communities. In 2021 alone, this group of volunteers donated 550 hours. This is only for the Volunteers of the Year, the 6 of them, which came up to over $16,473. So while we were able to quantify their service in terms of a dollar amount, their services in contribution to our city are priceless. Like the mayor was saying, they donated their time and skills throughout the city, including the municipal court, police, fire, parks and rec, the T. Harmon Center, accounting, planning, engineering, and the animal shelter. And we are very proud to have you in our volunteer program and members of our community. And without further ado, I'm very proud to introduce to you the 2021 Volunteers of the Year. So when I call your name, please come down here. We'll take a group photo, and that's it. Okay. So from the Animal Services Department, we have Kay Anderson and Laura Saunders, the dynamic duo. From the Parks and Recreations Department, we have Amra Shi. From the T. Harmon Center, we have Amy Soul. From the Fire Department and the FAAA, we have Meeta Patel. And then finally, from the Engineering Department, we have Sai El Sruji. She could not make it to the recognition, but she was able to join us during the reception. And so, again, I want to thank you all for being part of our program. I know this is very little to give back to you because you donate your time and efforts in making our city better. So I want to thank you on behalf of our program, but also the city, the residents, and everybody up here. So thank you so much. And if you want to take a call, yes. Thank you.
Lady with the little blueberry in there. Yeah. How about, can I get you on this side? Yes. There. All right. We got a Polly, can I get you on this side? There we go. Okay. Well, I need y'all to do one more thing for me and just smile. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more. There. Thank you. Thank you.
Last but not least is the recognition of our Sugarland 101 class of 2022. Many of you have heard every year we do a Sugarland 101 class, and we open it up for people to volunteer to participate. What that does is those people get to know. Those people get to know a little bit about the city, actually a lot about the city, about each department, how they function. They get to meet the leadership of our city. They get to meet the council. They get to meet the city manager, what I call the E-team, the executive team, and the directors and their staff. And they get to participate at a level that is, quite frankly, unheard of in most cities. The goal of Sugarland 101 is to make sure that we have people that understand the services the city provides, and that someday those people hopefully will volunteer for our boards, our commissions, our city council, or even as the mayor. So at this time, I'm going to ask Jessica Young, our Assistant Communications and Community Engagement Director. She's going to come down. She's going to call the group down, say a little something, and then we're going to get. We love pictures around here, so we'll get some pictures. Yes.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. So what the mayor was talking about when it comes to community engagement in this group specifically, all of community engagement when it comes to the city of Sugarland, we're trying to build relationships with every single person in the city. And relationships, you've all been in some, you start off casually dating. Maybe you friend them on Facebook or something, or maybe you carry their books in high school, down the hall. And then you start to get a little serious. Maybe you tell your friends about them. Maybe you tell your family about them. And then you get married. You're in a committed relationship. Like you start bringing them to functions or showing up to council meetings. You bring them to the council meetings with you. This is kind of the same thing in the sense that many of these folks, they had known the city of Sugarland casually. Maybe they had come to an event before. And then maybe they started being a little more interested, and now they're super engaged. And now we're ready to put a ring on it. Now we're ready to get married, because these folks, they know not just what every single department does, but they also know why we do what we do, and they understand the decision-making that goes into everything that we do, which is one of the most important parts of transparency, is not just opening our doors to say, here's who we are and what we do, but taking the time to explain why we do those things. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everyone up here, because one of the great things that we've done in Sugarland 101 is equip them to use their voices. And what better way to show how to use their voices than for them to say their own names to you guys. So come on up, guys. This is your Sugarland class of 2022. You can go ahead and line up here. And we also have these nice lapel pins that we brought for you to show our appreciation for all the time. Now, keep in mind, this is a 10-week program. This is very intense. It's basically like signing up for a college class and showing up once a week for a class. So we wanted to show our appreciation, and I'm going to start. Oh, can we scoot down this way? So one thing that we didn't practice was picture taking, but we're going to get there. Scoot down. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to start with you, and you can say your name, and we'll pass it on that way.
Taro Chalaram. Jim Vonderhaar.
Marielle Caballero.
Kamal Hoda.
Emmanuel Lim.
John Lucy.
Phyllis Rayburn.
Leticia Aleman.
Barbara Willie.
Bob Tyson.
Hakeem Bouadi.
Cynthia DeCaro.
Pauline Walker.
Thank you so much. Can we get another round of applause for our graduates?
We get y'all to step up. We'll get behind you so we get y'all to step up.
Maybe should we just stay up here? Yeah, we can just stay up there, we got a big group here. Yeah, let's just stay here. See if I get you down this way a little bit, just gonna follow there. Manny, if I can get you a little bit in this first row here. Just in the first row? Yeah, sorry, you're tall, but they're just a little taller, and a little bit in his view there. That'd be perfect, and also that's a great, all right. All right, and, oh. Here we are, 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you all.
Thank you all for volunteering your time to make our city a better place. We're going to move on now to item number 2, which is the public comments. This is for any one of the agenda items that some member of the public would like to comment on, except for the public hearings. Public hearings will receive them at that time. Thomas, do we have anybody signed up?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak about one of the agenda items? We're going to move on to item number 3, the consent agenda. A little bit about the consent agenda. We're going to take all these items as one motion, unless the council member wants to pull it, at which time we'll take all the other items, and then we'll have a brief presentation and discussion with council about that particular item. Do I have a motion? Got a motion by Kermali. I've got a second by Jacobson. Any discussion? If you'll vote at this time, please. And it passes 7-0. Thank you, council members. At this time, item number 4, I'm going to pass the gavel to the Mayor Pro Tem Jennifer Lane. I've got a conflict of interest. I filed that with the city secretary. I will step out. Council will take care of the agenda item. I'll not participate. I won't hear the item, nor will I vote on the item. Jennifer?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 4A, ordinances and resolutions. Consideration of an action on City of Sugarland Resolution Number 22-20, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sugarland, Texas, finding that CenterPoint Energy Houston Electric LLC's application for approval to amend its distribution cost recovery factor pursuant to 16 Texas Administrative Code 25.243 to increase distribution rates within the city should be denied, finding that the city's reasonable rate case expenses shall be reimbursed by the company, finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed is open to the public as required by law, requiring notice of this resolution to the company and legal counsel. We have Meredith, our city attorney.
Thank you. So you're probably saying, okay, that's a lot. What does it mean? So it's basically a DCFR, which is a mini rate case. So they don't have to go back. CenterPoint doesn't have to go back and do a full rate case in front of the PUC. They get to file this application and have kind of an expedited type process. So on April 5th, CenterPoint went ahead and filed this DCFR. They're trying to recover some costs of some additional infrastructure they installed between January 1, 2019 and December 31 of 2021. So they had previously been approved for $52,741,207 as their rate. They have asked for an increase of $145,680,810 for a total recovery factor would be $198,422,017. This increase would be about $276 per month for the average residential bill. If the city did nothing, this would be in effect on September 1st. However, you're not going to do nothing. Tonight you have before you Resolution 22-20. If you approve this resolution, this will deny their application. And so then they have a right to appeal. They have 30 days from the date that you make the denial. This appeal would be combined or consolidated with all the environs cases. And you're saying, what is an environs case? Environs represents all the cities that have already ceded their jurisdiction over the PUC or anybody like in an ETJ area that is not represented by a city. So our case would be consolidated by that. Additionally, you see that we're part of the GCCC, the Gulf Coast Coalition of Cities. It's about 40 plus cities, 41, 42 cities that we're a member, and we all work together. We get better rates by working together. We share consultants. We share a law firm. And so by using them as our consultant, we're actually asking CenterPoint that as we go through this appeal process to pay for and cover all of our costs that we incur while trying to deny this rate. So, like I said, they have 30 days and it'll be consolidated. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to approve this resolution denying the additional rate increase. And I went through that very quickly, so if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer them.
Nishad.
Meredith, what happens if they do not come back within 30 days? Will this be granted?
If they do not appeal our denial, then no, sir, it is denied, and they do not get the additional 276.
They do not.
They will be stuck with the 52 million and change that was previously approved.
Okay. And a follow-up is, all the other cities, the 41 or 42 cities, also doing the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Nishad Karmali. Do you have a second? Second by Suzanne Watley. If you will vote at this time. Motion passes.
Thank you, Jennifer. Item number 5, public hearings. 5A, receive and hear all persons desiring to be heard on a proposed rezoning of 7.869 acres from Plan Development, General Development Plan, Ordinance 1969 to Plan Development, Final Development Plan, Imperial Highway 6 District, Commercial Tract H, Reserves A and B. We have with us Laura Waller, our Planner 2. Laura.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So this is an area, up in the Imperial Redevelopment District. This area is where Imperial Drive, Imperial Boulevard meets Highway 6. So we're discussing this just over 7 acres here at the corner at that main intersection. You can also see it here on the location map. We're discussing a portion of Tract H as it was designated in the General Development Plan. So this is 7.8 acres that was developed with the First Step PD, which is the General Development Plan, as a part of Tract H. This final development plan is only for a portion of that. It involves 2 commercial reserves and 1 25-foot access and utility easement that would extend north from Imperial Boulevard. Reserve A is for an approximately 48,000 square foot office building, and Reserve B is for a future development of a similar office building. That 25-foot access and utility easement is to be built north from Imperial up to the top of the Reserve A, and then during Phase 1, and continued north and then west to Highway 6 during Phase 2 with Reserve B. That would provide future access to Highway 6 as well as continuing up through the rest of Tract H in future final development plans up to Crown Garden. This rezoning to the final development plan is for office and limited retail uses, and it does align with the general land plan and First Step general development plan. So here's the overall Tract H layout. This is all of Tract H as it was outlined in the general development plan. The final development plan before you this evening is just for the blue area here. So that's what's coming before you tonight. This is just to give a better overall schematic showing connectivity to the rest of Tract H as you might see it in the future in additional FDPs. So specific to Tract H, reserves A and B, this is Reserve A here with the approximately 48,000 square foot building, as well as Phase 1 of the 25-foot access and utility easement. So again, this is Phase 1 here. Phase 2 would include a future office building on the Reserve B to the north, as well as the rest of that utility and access easement all the way through to Highway 6. The landscape plan here shows buffering along all of the parking lot aisles as well as along the access easements so that those are buffered from the roadways, from the public areas. Also, trees are required to be higher caliber and more often than what you would see in our standard development code. So they are every 30 feet instead of 50 feet and 4-inch caliber instead of 2.5. This pedestrian and bicycle circulation plan does show just the standard sidewalks along the access easement, but it also includes a 10-foot shared use trail here that would be along the Highway 6 right-of-way. This area would eventually connect up through the rest of the northern Tract H up to Tract I, where the Crown Garden Plaza and Oyster Creek Greenbelt are, where this would connect. So it would provide a connection throughout all of the Imperial commercial areas, not just this tract. These are elevations of what the initial building as well as what the second building would need to comply with approximately as far as building materials, height, decorative type things like that. This view here is the front of the building, but this is actually what the residents will see across that detention pond because the building faces to the east rather than Highway 6, which is to the west. So a few site photographs shows our public hearing courtesy sign as well as the vacant area where this land is proposed to be developed. The future land use map does call for this as regional commercial services, which is in line with the uses that are proposed. This did go before our our Planning and Zoning Commission for a public hearing on February 24th. There was one speaker present who had concerns about the view from the residences that are on the other side of that large detention pond in the middle of Tract H. There were concerns from the commissioners about the Phase 2 of the access and utility easement construction that would require TxDOT review because of the connection to Highway 6. Staff did go ahead and recommend moving forward with the rezoning, as Phase 1 does not require text dot approval, and all of the traffic impact analysis comments had been addressed and cleared. They were just waiting on final text dot approval for formal concurrence. The commission did then unanimously vote to recommend approval of the rezoning to the members of City Council as well as the mayor. For the public hearing tonight, notification was posted online and in the paper, as well as mailers sent out, and the HOA and developer were notified. You also saw the courtesy notification sign at the property in those images. There was an online form available, and staff has not received any comments, questions, or phone calls since the time of the last meeting, and we are also not aware of any opposition. So your consideration points for this evening, this FDP is in alignment with the general land plan, the general development plan, and the future land use plan. The specific use list is tailored to this development and limits commercial and services to accessory uses of a primary office building. Engineering staff and our public works traffic staff did review the traffic impact analysis for this site. Phase 1 access from Imperial Boulevard, and Phase 2 to access Highway 6, and the utility easement and access easement to continue north to Crown Garden in a future FDP. This FDP also includes a connection to the Imperial Greenbelt that includes that 10-foot shared use trail along Highway 6. Therefore, staff does recommend holding the public hearing and first reading this evening, with a second reading to be followed at a later meeting. And the applicant is present for any questions, as well as staff to answer any questions after the public hearing.
Thank you, Laura. This time I'm going to ask council members to hold any questions they have. We're going to go ahead and open the public hearing and ask anyone that would like to comment on this particular agenda item if they'd step forward, identify yourself with your name and the address, and then any comments that you might have.
We have no one signed up in advance, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Anyone? We'll go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll move on to first consideration of an action on City of Sugarland Ordinance number 2261, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sugarland, Texas, providing for a change of zoning from Planned Development District PD General Development Plan to Planned Development District PD Final Development Plan, Imperial Highway 6 District Commercial H, reserves A and B for approximately 7.869 acres located at the northeast corner of State Highway 6 and Imperial Boulevard. Laura, at this time, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions for any of the council members. Anyone, Suzanne?
Thank you, Lauren. Can you show me the screen where you had the thoroughfare all the way through to Highway 6? And my question is the TIA based on independent Phase 1 and Phase 2, or just both of them together?
The TIA is for all of them. It can be broken up if you believe that's necessary, but staff is comfortable moving forward with the rezoning because there are no more outstanding comments. They have addressed all of the comments that we have asked for mitigation purposes.
Okay, and that was my question. Were there any concerns on a TIA based on just Phase 1 and having no thoroughfare to go through? Okay, thank you.
Ms. Shaw?
How many stories is this building?
Approximately 3. The maximum height, I believe, is 100 feet.
And it won't interfere with the airport or anything?
No, sir.
Okay. And is it all ground parking, or is there a garage as well?
It's all surface parking.
Surface parking. Okay. That's it.
Okay. William?
Thank you so much. I want to follow up on that one complaint regarding the visual and what was that complaint? Because as I look at this, it actually looks very attractive, and I might be missing something.
So it was really, she hadn't seen the presentation before that evening. She had just come that evening. She's one of the residents of this neighborhood over here. So she was really just concerned that there was going to be very large buildings in the view from her house. That she was concerned that there was going to be a lot of.
Which are all on the other side of the water, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We have a second by Kamali. Any other questions? Vote at this time, please. And it's opposed unanimously, 7-0. Thank you, council members. Item number 6, contracts and agreements. 6A, consideration of an action on authorization of an interlocal funding agreement by and between Fort Bend County and the City of Sugarland, Texas, in the amount of $1,610,000 for the University Boulevard Widening and Intersection Improvements Project, CIP CST 2102 and CST 2203. We have with us Ms. Monique Johnson, our Transportation and Mobility Innovation Manager. The innovation's new.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, my
Congratulations.
voice.
Monique, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to distract you.
All right. Okay, I got it back. Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Tonight before you, we have the interlocal agreement with Fort Bend County. Okay, so tonight we're seeking your approval for an interlocal funding agreement with Fort Bend County for the construction of the University Boulevard Widening and Intersection Improvements Project. So that's CST 2102 and CST 2203 in the CIP book. This was included in the voter-approved 2020 Fort Bend County Mobility Bond. So a little bit of background. Back in November 2013, voters approved $184 million in the Fort Bend County Mobility Bond. At that time, the county allocated $500,000 towards widening University Boulevard. In 2017, they had another mobility bond, and that was about $218 million that was approved. And in that bond, they allocated $950,000 towards the widening for University Boulevard. In 2019, the city had our own GEO bond, about $90 million. And in that GEO bond, we allocated $1.7 million towards widening University Boulevard. And then recently in 2020, the voters approved another $218 million Fort Bend County Mobility Bond. And in this bond, it allocated $160,000 towards intersection improvements, specifically at Branford Place and Westcott Avenue. And so during negotiations between the city and the county, we agreed that we just combine this into one project. Since they were both, you know, it's university, same area, might as well be one project. So the scope of the project, the limits are from New Territory Boulevard to the north, all the way south to about 1,000 feet south of Lexington, just north of Wentworth Avenue. And so the purpose of the project is to increase traffic capacity along the corridor. It's a really congested roadway. The intersection at 59 is very congested, so that's what the purpose of the project is. The purpose is to design an additional lane along University from University in each direction, but also evaluate design at intersections and design intersection improvements along the project area due to the impacts of the widening. So making sure things align with those improvements. So there are several intersection improvements, including New Territory Boulevard. Most of these are turn lanes, Branford Place, Telfair Abbott, Westcott Avenue, Coatsworth Avenue, Alberfeldy, Lexington Boulevard, and designing new signals for intersections where there may be conflicts. Again, making sure things align once that widening takes place, having the signals align with those. And so the terms of the interlocal agreement, the city obligations are to fund and manage design. We have the right to extend the project limits as necessary to improve connectivity at our expense. We're also responsible for overseeing construction and requesting payment within 30 days of letting the project. Fort Bend County's obligations are to pay 100% of the allocated funds within 30 days of a written request from the city. And so that allocation is capped at 50% of the construction cost. So if it comes below, we're capped at 50%. So the estimated cost for university is about $3.26 million. The Fort Bend County Mobility Bond allocation total for all the previous years is $1.6 million. The City of Sugarland matching obligation funding is available in our 2019 GEO bond. So that's that CST 2102 and 2203 projects. So we have about 1.65 available, that we're obligated to match if we come in at the 3.26 million for the costs. So here's an overview of the 2019 GEO bond. We've made lots of progress. This is also including the University Boulevard project that you guys recently approved on the consent agenda. So that design is going to start right away. And with that, we request your approval for the interlocal funding agreement with Fort Bend County in the amount of $1,610,000 for the construction of the University Boulevard Widening and Intersection Improvements Project, CST 2102 and 2203. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Monique. Questions? Shaw?
Monique, thank you. you and I have discussed this area quite a bit. And can you go back to your list of streets that it affects?
Sure. The intersections? Or
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
I thought Costco, coming out of Costco, was going to be a part of this project. Am I wrong?
So not this one. There is another project that we are working on with TxDOT, and so we plan to include those in that project. The plan is to go after federal funding for that project, you know, along with the 59 bridge, the turnaround, and all those impacts to the U of H. So that's
my mistake. I remember myself, you and Chris discussing this. So Costco will come at a future date. Right?
Yes.
And then can you go back to I think your first slide, it said the years of the funding, the 2013?
There you go.
This one. So the $500,000 from November 2013 has not been used?
No, that has not been used. It's all available. It's all of those numbers you see, except of course the 1.7, which is ours,
Correct.
are included in that agreement for tonight. So that 1.61 million from the county.
This being District 2, I would make a motion to approve. We really, really need this in District 2. Thank you.
I'll second that. Well, it also benefits District 4,
It
so you
does.
can't take full credit
It
for
does.
this. Yeah, this is a very congested intersection. I hear from Half-Lunch Helper residents quite a bit, so I'm really excited about this much-needed mobility improvements here, and I very much appreciate our partnership with Fort Bend County on this.
Yeah, I've got a motion by Kermally, second by McCutcheon. Any additional questions? I've got a question, Monique. So when you look at, and it's about the paving geometrics on University Boulevard, are they going to take the additional lane out of the center?
Yes, so the widening is going to happen in the median. We're not doing anything on the outside edges. So what's existing there is going to stay there, you know, unless something comes in the future. But for this particular project, it's just taking room out of the median, the center median.
Okay, and the follow-up question to that is, because of the landscaping they have in the median, we're going to, the landscaping will accommodate that, or it'll have to be re-landscaped?
Yes, so the landscaping, that'll all be a part of our, really when we engage with the HOA during that, because it's owned by several different people and maintained by different people. So that is something we are going to consider during the design. It is going to have, make those accommodations as well.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Comment, the bridges there are already laid out with the concrete, so they're not having to rebuild the bridges. So they planned it properly.
Correct.
Knowing that this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
William, go ahead.
I'm just curious, I don't see that this will affect any pedestrian sidewalks. This is all, like the mayor was saying, it should be pretty fluid for the sidewalks.
Yes, for this project, we're not touching any of the sidewalks or anything. You know, unless maybe at one of the intersections, if we have to do something just to modify, that would probably be it. But the intent is to not touch anything on the outside edges of the road.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? We got a motion, we got a second. If you'll vote at this time, please. And it passes 7-0. Thank you, Monique.
Thank you.
Item number 6B, consideration of an action on authorization of a construction contract with CFG Industries LLC in the amount of $1,225,715 for the rehabilitation of lift stations at Recreational Center number 400 and Great Lakes number 500, CIP CWW 2104. And we have with us Guillermo Saucedo, our Senior Engineering Manager. Guillermo.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Tonight for your consideration, the lift station rehab project CWW 2104. Just a little background on the project. This is a regular project that we do, that the city does every year. As you know, the city owns about 134 lift stations. They all maintain the lift station. And we know there's a critical part of the transportation of wastewater from homes and residents to the wastewater treatment plants. The city service levels that the city adopted is based on a 25-year life expectancy of the each lift station. So we do this annually to make sure we keep that service level current, so it's no interruption. For these 3 lift stations that we got for this time, we redesigned and the recreation center, the Great Lakes, and Elkins. They were designed in FY21, and they're ready for construction on this FY22. And you can see in the map what the location of the 3 lift station that I just talked about, the rec center right here, the Graywood Lake just to the south, and Elkins to the east. Here is 59 and Highway 6 is right here, so you get orientation there. The scope of work is very typical of all the lift stations. There's the valve and improvement, and new pumps, riser and headers, piping, electrical improvement, wet well, recording, and SCADA communication. The construction selection, the bid package it was composed at a base bid, which included the rec center and the Graywood Lake, and 1 lift station as an add alternative was Elkin. Bid advertised the February 23rd and March 2nd in 2022, and we opened 3 bids the 10 on March of 2022. This is the bid summary, and as you can see, we have the 3 bidders. So you have CFE Industry, Matula RG Construction, and you can see the base bid, the rec center at Graywood, it varies between $1.2 and $1.6 million. The add alternative Elkins between $400,000 and about $600,000, and the combination of both varies between $1.6 and $2.3 million. The available budget for the CIP W2104 is about $1.4 million. Staff recommend award the base bid only for $1,225,715. Consultant had checked the reference for the low bidder, which is CFE Industry, and provide us a letter of recommendation. CFE Industry had worked with the city as a subcontractor, not the prime. But they do have a lot of work outside the city limits, being the prime, doing the same kind of work. In the back with us is Mr. David Cadrell. He's the owner of the CFE Industry. I also want to mention that Elkins will be on FY23 construction list. And this is the funding need, and then for construction, like I mentioned, the base bid items says about $1 million. Contingency of 5%, about $61,000. Construction admin, about $30,000 for a total funding of $1,317,000. Available budget of funding is about $1.4 million. A project schedule, in order to proceed, we expect intended in May 2022. Substantial completion is about February 2023. It's about 270 calendar days for the 2 lift stations. Construction impact analysis, impact notifications. This, like I said, we do this very often. All is in city property, all these lift stations in city property. No, we're not expecting any interruption of the sanitary sewer service. And again, per policy CO110, we will do communication with the resident, door hanger, mail out, and one-on-one communication. And with that, staff recommend that the City Council authorize the execution of a construction contract with CFG Industries LLC for the rehabilitation of the lift stations at Recreation Center in Graywood Lake, CIP CWW2104, in the amount of $1,225,715. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion by McCutcheon? Do I have a second? Do I have a second by Jacobson? You'll vote at this time, please. And it passes 7-0. Thank you, Council. Item number C, City Manager has requested that this item be pulled from the agenda. No discussion or action will be taken on this contract at this time. We're going to go ahead and move to item number 6D, consideration of an action on authorization of a contract with Olemeter Corporation in the amount of $437,000 for meter reading services. This contract will automatically renew for 2 additional 1-year terms for a total contract amount of $1,311,000. And we have Alpa Patel, our Treasury analyst. Jennifer Brown.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
As is our tradition, when we have a staff member present to City Council for the first time, we like to introduce them. This is Alpa Patel. She is a Treasury Analyst in the Treasury Division of the Finance Department. She's been with the city for about 5.5 years, and so we're going to have her present the meter reading contract, and I know she's going to do a great job.
Welcome, Alpa.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here to present the meter reading contract. Meter reading contract, hold on. I totally did this. Currently, the city reads about 39,000 water meters monthly. We do have city-owned iPhones loaded by route data by the Treasury staff on a daily basis. The data is downloaded into the billing system, and it is checked for accuracy. And if there are any variances, we do send these back out for rereads, and usually this is about 1% of the meters read when we have to go back out for rereads. We did advertise this ITB on March 9th and March 16th on publicpurchase.com, and these bids were due on March 24th at 11 a.m., and we did receive 5 bids. These are the 5 vendors that bid, and as you can see, that Infomark came in at the highest at $1.60 per meter read, and Olemeter came in at 0.928 cents per meter read. Olemeter is the city's current contractor. They have been providing services to the city since June 2017. The current rate is at 0.871 cents per meter read, and the new rate of 0.928 is a 6.5% increase. This contract is funded at $410,000 per year and will require an increase of FY23 budget. The estimated annual cost for between 2023 and 2025 is going to be about $437,000 per year, and a budget request will be made for an additional $22,500 in FY22 due to the contract renewing mid-year, and additional funds will be added to the FY23 budget. Staff reviewed bids and recommendations with Council Finance Audit Committee on April 7th. Staff recommends approval of a contract for meter reading services to Olemeter Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $437,000. This contract will automatically renew for an additional 2 additional one-year terms under the same terms and conditions. And the meters read will also decrease over the next 3 years as the city implements the automated meter integration AMI project. Tristan is here from Olemeter representing them. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Alpha. Questions? Suzanne?
Thank you. The question is, when it breaks down at $22,500, what are we looking at per home? I know that's probably not a big number, but just curious.
I honestly don't know that answer. So.
And to follow up on that while you're coming, so we're looking at AMI coming in and decreasing. So when will that take effect, and how will that affect this number?
Yeah, I believe we're still working on the AMI contract, and so once that contract is put in place and the schedule is made, we will know what those numbers will look like and how much they'll decrease at the time. Right now, we don't have that correct information.
Okay, so this increase is not totally permanent. It's just an interim until we change over?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So you're looking at the increase per home for the cost of the meter reads. It's 6.5% total increase. So it currently costs us 87 cents per month per read, and it will now be 0.928. Yeah, 92.8 cents per read. So it's about a little over 6 cents per month per meter. So for a whole year, you're looking at about 80 something cents. I don't do math in my head, sorry. So it's pretty minimal on an annual basis per home. We have almost 50,000 meters, including our commercials. So when you put all that together, it does add up.
It's labor intensive. I mean, that's the
yeah,
bottom
it is
line.
labor
It's very
intensive.
labor intensive.
Good, that's a good number. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Stuart?
Mayor, as a member of Finance and Audit, we dove deeply into this, and we chopped it every which way, and we all came up with the same conclusion that that this is a good deal for the city, and I move that we approve the contract.
Thanks, Stuart. We got a motion by Jacobson. Do I have a second? William, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is a great opportunity. This service is exactly what the mayor said. It's very labor intensive, and finance and audit looked at this as deeply as we could. And what I heard over and over is the team members do a great job. And I just want people to know that even though it's affordable and it's very labor intensive, they do a good job. And that's what really hit a note for me. And I just had to say that.
Thank you. They do a very good job for us.
Also, Mayor, may I ask? They're very friendly. I want the ownership to know that. I've met them here in the parking lot at like 7:30 in the morning, and they're just always having a good time and cracking up, and they're just jolly guys that I've only seen men, but jolly folks. So you may want to pass that on to your team. Thank you.
Got a motion by Jacobson. Do I have a second? Got a second by Kermali. You vote at this time, please. And it's a 7-0 vote. Thank you, council members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alpha. Item number 6E, consideration of an action on authorization of a contract with American Ramp Company in the amount of $486,424.20 for design and construction of the pump track at the Crown Festival Park at Sugarland. We have William Hajdik, our Assistant Director of Parks and Rec. William.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. Before I begin, I did want to recognize that Jeremy Jones with American Ramp Company is with us on Zoom tonight, so he's also available to answer any questions that you might have. Also, I believe we might have some members of FBMBA mountain bike, local mountain bike group here with us tonight as well, and possibly on Zoom. So they're a huge proponent of this pump track. With that, the purpose of the pump track is to create a regional destination and outdoor recreational sporting opportunity in Sugarland to meet the increasing demands of the biking community, promote a healthy and outdoor lifestyle. It's to further energize the Crown Festival Park and the Brazos River Park, attract regional visitors and contribute to vibrant local businesses, strengthen Sugarland's image of a great place to live, work, and play, and included in the All In for Sugarland TX Placemaking Initiative. As you can see from the map, the pump track would be located at the Crown Festival Park, just adjacent to the Brazos River Park. The location was selected for a variety of advantages, including the local existing lit parking lot at the Crown Festival Park. It is protected by the levee. It's very close proximity to the very popular Sugarland mountain bike trails. And it has an existing storm drain line that we're going to be able to tap into for our drainage of our pump track. And the funding is $500,000 from Sugarland 4B, including the schematic design that we've already completed. As you can see this from the schematic design, it's a little bit zoomed in version of it. Two options were proposed in the user input survey. The more popular option that was overwhelmingly recommended was this one that you see here. It has a beginner track off to one side. It kind of helps develop some skill level before you advance to the tournament style track that you see there. It has some short bank turns, but it also has some long stretches with a wall ride. As you can see, we're going to be able to tap into an existing stormwater line, and there's going to be a connecting sidewalk that connects users from the parking lot and the Crown Festival Park Promenade to the pump track for easy access. So with that, we're going to change it over to a fly-through video that American Ramp Company helped us create in the schematic design process. I believe they're loading it now. So there's no sound, so I guess I'll just talk through it. This is actually what the pump track will look like. I think it gives a good representation. You can see that off of the parking lot, there is a connecting sidewalk that leads you to the top of the starting hill, where users have the option to go right to the beginner track, a very simple track to gain confidence as you move to the more advanced track that you see here. with a series of bank turns and some straightaways. Wall ride is unique to Texas. It gives users the ability to up their skill level if they so choose, or they can stay down off the wall ride and stay on the asphalt. It's around 22,400 square feet total. The asphalt surface is around 3,000 square feet. And it's a tournament level, meaning it can host competitions and have time trial races on this track. That was something we were imposed upon ARC to make sure that it's tournament level quality. Okay, so we'll get back to the slideshow. A little background on American Ramp Company. Sorry. There we go. A little background on American Ramp Company. They are a buy-board design build contractor and a premier builder of custom pump tracks. They have over 20 years of experience doing this, building park, skate and bike park facilities in our communities. Their Velo Solutions asphalt pump tracks is what we're building, are competition level tracks that have been designed and built by ARC all over the United States. Texas has 2 cities with ARC pump tracks. We'll be the first in the Houston area. City of San Antonio has 2. I had the pleasure of taking my 4-year-old son and 8-year-old daughter to visit a San Antonio American Ramp Company pump track. And my daughter's asking me at least once a week when I'm getting one here in my park. So I told her I'm presenting it tonight, and she was super excited. So first time visiting a pump track, I thought it was very easy to utilize. It just rained, and I was amazed at how quickly the track dried up. The hand quality of the turns and the asphalt, it was just amazing. And my daughter, within maybe 30 minutes, was going around and around, zooming circles around me. And she's a pretty novice bike rider, so I was pleased to see. So I did call the City of San Antonio project manager to reference check ARC, and she gave high accolades for ARC. And in fact, they're building another ARC pump track in San Antonio, and it includes a beginner track. So I think they might have stolen my idea, but that goes to show how high quality these tracks are and popular they are. So a pump track schedule, we're looking at right around 4 to 8 weeks for final design and to start mobilization. We need to do construction documentation and run it through the DRC committee. Anticipated construction kickoff would be right around June, July of this year with a 90-day construction timeline. So the estimated construction completion would be right around fall, winter of this year. With that, staff recommends authorizing execution of a contract with American Ramp Company in the amount of $486,424.20 for final design and construction of the pump track at the Crown Festival Park. And with that, ARC and myself will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, William. Stuart.
Thank you, Mayor. With your indulgence, I have 2 questions. William, what kind of staffing is this going to require?
I believe similar to a playground or our skate park, minimal staffing because my park staff's already checking on the Crown Festival site. This is an area of a park that we're already kind of running through already, and police are already patrolling. And it doesn't require a whole lot of maintenance. I talked to Jeremy about the maintenance of it, and he says you don't really pressure wash the asphalt. It's actually bad for it. You just kind of blow it off. So it could increase our maintenance just a little bit, but I don't anticipate a whole lot.
That was halfway into my second question, which was, where's the maintenance budget for this? I guess it's coming out of the general parks maintenance budget.
That's correct.
Okay. So does this come with a warranty?
Yes, sir. A 1-year warranty from ARC.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
William.
I just can't believe that the cyclists are going to let this thing go and not ride on it until the fall. I picture they're going to be working, and they're going to be working around cyclists. Anyhow, on a serious note, how long are these tracks good for? I mean, are they a 10-year track, 20-year? I don't have any idea. That's one of my questions.
Jeremy might better answer this, Jeremy, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we estimated the estimated useful life of this track, as all assets have a useful life. Some can be extended possibly, sure, and you don't really know based on the weather and things like that. But I think we were estimating around 20 to 25 years, which is typical for a skate park, playground. Jeremy, is that about right?
Yeah, William, that's correct. That 20-year mark is right where we estimate as, as long as, and we already, discussed the full maintenance schedule, that kind of stuff, but, as long as that routine, those routine maintenance measures are met, shouldn't have any trouble getting 20 years on the track.
I think the important part is the drainage, and which is included in this price.
Yep.
And like a typical asphalt parking lot, we will need to seal coat it probably every 4 to 8 years, depending on how it's wearing.
So one more question about the track, if I may, Mayor.
Go ahead.
When this was all original, a thought, and it was really coming out, there was even a talk about having a drinking fountain or anything. Are we thinking any of that will be included, or is that a later project?
The good news is the festival site already has a drinking fountain that's not too far away from this pump track.
Okay, so that leads to my final thought. Recently, the mayor challenged me on the zip line project, and so I'm going to return.
There ain't no way you're getting me on a pump track.
If the mayor can find a bicycle, I would like to challenge the mayor to ride
Friends in
the
mountain
pump
biking
track.
community find me a bicycle.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll let you borrow my bike, Mayor.
There you go. Carol.
Thank you.
I'm so excited about this. This is going to be a great addition to our city, particularly to District 4. And the funnest districts, Councilmember Jacobson, in the city. Anyway, and I'm really glad we're going to have beginner and tournament tracks as well. And I look forward to riding on it, although I will not be doing the wall ride. And I'd like to make the motion to approve.
I understand.
Got a motion by McCutcheon. Najad, go ahead.
Back to seriousness. Liability. What kind of liability does the city have if someone gets injured on that?
Good question.
Okay.
Shay?
Getting prepared.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So with regards to liability, it's the same sort of liability we really have for any city park, which is extremely minimal. That said, we have done the best we can to shift liability through the contract with regards to requiring ARC to indemnify us and hold us harmless should anything happen.
So we're protected.
Yes, we are very protected.
Very good. Okay. Mayor, you and William can go use it now.
You're not protected from me, I guarantee you. We got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second by Ferguson. Your vote this time, please. A 7-0 vote. Thank you, council members.
Thank you.
Thanks, William. Item number 7, City Council City Manager reports. Item 7A, City Council Member reports. Suzanne, let's start with you.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do a highlight and let everybody take over because we all did some things together this week. My highlight is while I was gone last week, I was in Washington, D.C. with the Fort Bend Chamber Leadership Forum. It was fantastic. I want to thank the Fort Bend, the Fort Bend Chamber for hosting Class of 2020 and Class of 2022 for a great time in Washington, D.C.
Thank you. Sean.
Mayor, myself, and Mayor Sylvester Turner were in Houston, and we had attended a mental health of Greater Houston luncheon called Texas of Treasure Luncheon. And one of our residents, Dr. Asim Shah, received the Ima Hogg Award recipient for 2021 for all the work that he's done in mental health and with COVID, and all the channels that he's been on from Fox, CNBC, CBS, NBC, etc. And so he was awarded the Ima Hogg Award. I'm very, very proud that he is one of our residents here in Sugarland to receive that award.
Yeah, I was there. Carol.
I was a guest speaker at Unite and Inspire's annual volunteer appreciation event, and I got to present medals to 51 youth who were recipients of the President's Volunteer Service Award. And we had opening day for the Sugarland Space Cowboys, and many of us on council attended the Fort Bend County Interfaith Iftar, which is the largest iftar to date in the county.
Thank you, Carol. Jennifer.
Along with some of our colleagues on council, we attended the State of the City of Stafford this past week, and also attended a Meet Your Elected Officials at Commonwealth HOA.
Thanks, Jennifer. Stewart?
Yeah, you stole my thunder, Jennifer. I was going to explain that while Nishad was name dropping, Jennifer and I and a couple other council members were hobnobbing with Mayor Willis of Stafford for the state of the city, which was probably more exciting. And also, I attended, among other things, the Oyster Point Neighborhood Picnic.
William?
I feel like it never ends. I feel like I've been with them every day for the last 2 weeks. Great experiences at everything we went to, from the HOAs to all the local cultural events. It's been a great couple of weeks.
Thanks, William. I'm going to focus on the AAA baseball. The Space Cowboys had a great opening day celebration. Nancy and I also attended on Saturday night. On the weekend, on Friday and Saturday, the crowds were unbelievable. We had some lines. I think we had great food, great drink. Everybody seemed happy. Unfortunately, we lost both games, but that's okay. I think we were out of the barrel real quick, and it's going to be a great season for us. Smart Financial Center. We continue to see bookings later in the fall, but they are name concerts that are coming to Sugarland, so we're continuing to see the recovery there. The challenge has been that some of the other states are not open, so that the venues are not able to tour multiple states, which is how they make their money. So we'll continue to see this thing open up nationwide. I'm sure we'll continue to book shows. We encourage everybody to get out and see the Space Cowboys and get out to Smart Financial Center. Item number B, City Manager Report. Mike.
Yeah, Mayor, just real quick, on the pump track, I just wanted to publicly thank the University of Houston. This is on their site, Jay Neal and his team, that are great partners. And so the work that they did approving this so that all of our residents can enjoy it. Just wanted to publicly state that.
Thank you, Mike. Item number 8, closed executive session. Item number A, section 551087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations. Item number B, section 551074, public officers. Item number C, section 551074, personnel matters. And we're going to go ahead and recess and reconvene in the council dining room. Thank you all for coming.